So this film is a 2005 film. It's The Brothers Grimm. This is honestly the weirdest movie I've ever seen with Matt Damon in it.
This is definitely on my do not watch list.
Yeah, this one was just like, yeah.
It was too
which is shocking.
Active FM. Radio has never been better.
What is up?
Hey,
This is the movie show.
on Active FM.
I'm Sash.
My name's Ryan.
And we are still on our Matt Damon marathon.
Just can't leave the guy, can you?
Sure, even though we were like, we need to stop doing actors marathons can be dangerous just because, but it kind of makes sense because like as an actor, you don't want to be in the same type of film like constantly.
Yeah.
So you want to like go out and, you know, like express yourself or you want to experiment. But sometimes it can be a very weird ride for the audience to watch this actor go through all their different phases of like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Yeah, Matt Damon's one of those people.
We did say that he was a dynamic actor.
He is a dynamic actor.
So we're proving it to you.
Yeah.
But have you seen the film though?
So this film is a 2005 film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that before...
It was before a lot of things, eh? Like 2005, I realized...
What was the film we watched with him?
No, it wasn't before.
When was Good Will Hunting?
Good Will Hunting was in the 1990s. In fact, I think it was 97.
Okay,
Good Will
there you
Hunting,
go.
yeah.
So this was after
So Matt Damon by this point was a renowned actor. Like people knew him. He had done Good Will Hunting. There was another film that he did. I think it was the film after Good Will Hunting. So he'd made a name for himself. And then in this film, you also have Heath Ledger. And obviously Heath Ledger was also a big star. So you had two very big stars working in this film. Did we say the name of the film? It's The Brothers Grimm, 2005. It's a fantasy adventure. This is honestly the weirdest movie I've ever seen with Matt Damon in it. Don't know if he's done weirder, but this film was weird.
It was very weird.
This was like Tim Burton, but like the comedy version.
The stuff that was going on and some of the kind of special effects and some of the like something just felt weird about the special effects.
Yeah.
Didn't you feel sometimes it looked like it was slowed down, like it had a jitter or something?
Yeah, no, so
like some of the stuff I was like,
you could see special effects was still like
that was weird.
Was still like coming into what we know, like, but.
They did Star Wars.
That's also true. And I've actually got a list of other 2005 films to like almost compare, like because the special effects in this film, I would honestly say aren't the greatest. The practical effects in this film were insane, and the scale of the sets and the like this
huge.
film, you could see you could see the special effects because it was just like. Ready? But then you could see the practical effects, and the practical effects were really good, and the sets were on a very, very large scale. Like even the towns and the mud and the ducks and the forest. Okay, the forest was very special effectsy because it had crawling trees, which makes no sense. But anyway, this was one of those weird fantasy films. But like this is weird. Like that's what I'm saying. This is like Tim Burton, but strange. Because Tim Burton's got more of like a dark. Like he just goes for like very like gothic style. Yeah. Like that's him. But this was like, it was dark, but it was weird.
I don't know if I was watching a horror or if I was because some of the stuff, some of the sequences were very like, okay, that.
But you know
that is freaky.
You know why I think it was? It's the director. So the director is a man named Terry Gilliam. I think that is how you pronounce Sir Terry's surname. So he's a British filmmaker and comedian. Now, honestly, the minute comedian comes in with films,
you know, there's going to be a weird twist to it.
You know it's going to be... sometimes comedy is not the greatest thing in film. I must be quite honest. Like, sometimes it just makes it very cheesy, cringy, dumb, weird, awkward, like, straight... Yeah, and this is one... But if you look at Terry's filmography... He has weird films. So 12 Monkeys. I haven't watched a lot of these films, but I've heard about it. Like Time Bandits, I've heard about. But also it's very like strange. He's got a very wide filmography, like very big. One of his most recent was Jupiter Ascending. That was with Channing Tatum. It didn't do too well. I think it was a box office flop, but I have watched that. But once again, it was weird. And then the other thing was he did two things: Heath Ledger a tribute, and then Heath Ledger a tragic tale, which I found quite interesting. That he actually went and then directed those two tributes to Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Obviously, he knew him from this film. I don't know if he was in any of his other films, personally. I don't know if you...
There was a film... Sure, it really was a weird name. It ended up having Johnny Depp in it.
Okay. It was one of his films as well.
Yeah,
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
No.
Ow. Lost in La Mancha?
That's... I think that's...
But that's a documentary film about Terry Gilliam's first attempt to make the man who killed... And then there's a Don something.
No, then it's not that one. I think it's got kind of like a French name. Maybe look under the director. Movies. Yeah. Movies. And...
He's got a very wide filmography.
There.
Oh, never mind.
No.
This one?
No, I don't think it's that one.
That is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It was.
Actually, I've heard that one. I've actually heard a lot about this guy's films, but I've never watched them. But
I see. There's actually quite a few of them. So it was one of them.
Was it one of the Monty Pythons?
The one, I don't know if... hopefully Johnny Depp's not in all of them. That's not very helpful. But it was... No. Definitely not that one. But it's one of those ones, and I'm sure our listeners or our watchers are right now busy shouting at us, saying, It was!
Yeah. Was Johnny Depp young?
So I was trying to figure out from the trailer if he was in that film, but it was done in 2000, the year that Heath Ledger actually
Hectic died. What year did he die?
There you go. It must
Are you
have been
sure?
that
This
one.
is the Lost in La Mancha.
No,
but
it's not
this
that
was made
one.
in 2002, and Heath Ledger was still
So,
alive in 2002.
During filming or during production, that's when Heath Ledger died.
Passed away, sure.
And the director had to deal with that. Not sure what he did, but like I said, I was looking through the trailer. I was trying to find out if he was in that film.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see through the trailer. It actually looked quite like it was a weird but very good kind of film. So it was similar to this movie.
Okay, a lot of these films, he wasn't necessarily the director. So with Jupiter Ascending, he's not the director, but he obviously was just involved in production. So I think with him, he's got a lot of like roles and he does a lot of things. But yeah. But anyway, moving away from the director.
Yeah.
So the cast is pretty good. You have Matt Damon, you have Heath Ledger. Then you have Lena Headey, who I recognize. She's been in a lot. Like she was in Mortal Instruments, but she was the mom. Like she's also got a very wide filmography.
Yeah.
And then I found this quite interesting. So Monica Buccelli, if that's her Bell, however you pronounce her surname. I'm sorry, Monica. She played Mary Magdalene in The Passion of the Christ.
Oh yeah.
So she was the
where I
evil
knew her
queen
from.
in this, and
Wow.
And then you also have Jonathan Pryce. Jonathan Pryce was in Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as Mackenzie Crook. He was also in Pirates of the Caribbean. The minute he came on screen, I was like, that's the dude with the eye from Pirates. But I almost felt like this film was like a precursor to Pirates of the Caribbean, because like I feel like but also at the same time, it was a very exaggerated version of like, I don't know how to explain it, like the comedy and the style and
They wanted to use Johnny Depp as one of the actors in and the director said that no, he wasn't a well-known actor enough.
Oh, hectic.
And during filming, they then did Pirates of the Caribbean, and then everything kicked off. Apparently, Matt Damon was like, "You shot yourself in the foot."
Yeah, man. Johnny Depp would have been put. This is down Johnny Depp's
It's one of those
aisle.
Johnny Depp,
because
films.
Tim Burton and Johnny Depp often work together, and it's that same style. So what this whole movie is about is the Brothers Grimm. Now, if you don't know what the Brothers Grimm or who the Brothers Grimm are. Basically, they're storytellers, and they told a lot of like children fairy tales, but their adaptations or their versions of the stories are often very dark and twisted.
Clearly.
So we
see that with this film.
A lot of the stuff a lot of the stories they came up with have actually been changed over time. So, for example, Rapunzel, one of the original the original versions of Rapunzel, she actually basically gets raped by the prince and then falls pregnant. Yeah, and then they went and changed that. But Brothers Grimm, so Rapunzel, right. Snow White, Cinderella, Rumpelstiltskin, Hansel and Gretel, all of those stories are Brother Grimm stories. Yeah. So the Brothers Grimm, there were two brothers, as you see in this film. The one was named Jacob, and the other one was named Will, right? I think those were Jacob and William. Wilhelm Grimm. And they were they were the two oldest sons, but of a family that had in total, I think 11 children, but 2 of them died in infancy.
Yep.
So, but then also they were actually very intelligent men, very like they went to university. They were classified as German academics, as cultural researchers, as linguists, as folklore collectors and writers, and they established a methodology for collecting and recording folk stories that became the foundation for folklore studies. So these two dudes were like they were very
that means they put odd things together.
Yeah. But now,
theoretically,
the difference though with this film is not a biography of the two brothers. It's kind of like taking the two brothers and mixing up them with their stories and kind of creating that whole world. But I must be quite honest, I almost feel like they hadn't done that. So I remember I was watching an interview where Matt Damon was like, this isn't a biography, this is a more fun tale. I kind of feel like I would have enjoyed the film more if it was more of like this is how the two brothers like. So I don't know if you've ever watched Finding Neverland. That was with Johnny Depp, actually, funny story. But the whole thing is about, it's a biography of the man that wrote Peter Pan. And then what's smart about it is you see how he got the concepts for the dog that was the nanny and the Tinkerbell, and the fact that the kids didn't ever want to grow up, and like you see all of those elements coming into play, and that was a pretty good film. Like I really enjoyed that film. If you haven't watched Finding Neverland, go watch Finding Neverland. But I feel like this is just a personal preference. I think I would have enjoyed the film more. Like keep the cast the same, like. But it was weird. It was very weird. I literally was watching it and I was just like, okay. And then even the fact that at the end, Angelica, which is the female character, basically falls in love with both brothers. Like it kind of ends with like a... Do you understand what I'm saying? I was just like, this is very, very confusing. Apparently, in real life, Jacob didn't actually get married. Wilhelm got married, and then, but then Jacob stayed with the.
Is Wilhelm the younger brother?
Wilhelm was basically the one that Matt Damon was playing, and Jacob was the one that Heath Ledger. But how was Heath Ledger's lisp? Like I've never seen Heath Ledger like I saw Heath Ledger in the, like he wasn't as good. I personally wouldn't say his performance was better than the Joker. Joker was insane.
He was very fascinating on screen.
He was fascinating.
Obviously knowing what I know about him, about Heath Ledger himself, that he's quite a method actor. I was just trying to really look try and look at his character and different like small finer details that he's doing in his acting to really bring across his character. So whenever he came on, I was just like really just watching him and like
the acting was insane. Even Matt Damon's acting. And I know when I think it was when Heath Ledger spoke to the director said to him, who do you want to play? And I think in the director's mind he was going to choose Will, which was Matt Damon's character, which was kind of more of what like Heath Ledger had done up until that point, because Heath Ledger was always the cool guy, you know, he was always like the hero, you know, Knight's Tale.
I was going to say
10 things I hate about you. Like he always had that like very put together cool cool, like calm, collected. So the director obviously thought he was going to go for Will, and then he said out, no, I want to play Jacob, and the director was like, okay, cool. But he said that what was interesting was that what Matt Damon had played up until then and what Heath Ledger had played up until then, it was kind of like they swapped, and they both took on opposite roles to what they would normally have done or had done, or was kind of like who they were. Because even Matt Damon is nothing like he was in this film.
No.
If you look at Matt Damon in interviews, he's very calm, he's very collected. Like, he's got a good sense of humor, but he's
When
not,
he was on screen, I was just like, wait, is this Matt Damon?
Yeah,
This is not
exactly.
Matt Damon. Wait, is this
Exactly.
Matt Damon? And then I went to look at the picture, I'm like,
it is Matt Damon.
it's Matt Damon. I'm like,
Oh my
this
goodness,
is crazy.
And Heath Ledger also didn't come across, like, even his hairstyle.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, their acting really was, like, very, very good.
He was really like,
I think the actors had a lot of fun with this film.
I love the deep.
I think this is a very artistic film.
It is.
And as a viewer, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, this is really strange.
Yeah.
But as an actor, I think this was very fun. It was very fun from an acting perspective.
What I found made Heath Ledger so good is he would do certain things that didn't make sense why he was doing it, but he
Yeah.
did it because it was part of his character. Like,
yeah.
they climb up to the top of the tower of the queen,
Yes.
the witch, whatever, and he's got his arms open like this, but he's balancing out. But he's not balancing. You can see he's not trying to balance. He's just trying to.
He's being
He's
eccentric.
amazed. Yeah.
He's just being,
like, wow. And then he like almost trips and he's like, wow.
I feel like Johnny Depp very well easily could have gotten inspiration for Jack
Oh,
Sparrow
yeah.
from Heath Ledger's character
Yeah.
in this film.
Yeah.
Like, it's very possible. But even Jonathan Pryce's acting was very good. I thought he was very good. And then he had a general. I don't know who. No, he was the general. He had a soldier that was also very good. But the soldier made me laugh because he was doing a French accent, but it was like a very exaggerated French accent. Like, even when he said the word general, the way I even
General.
stopped it and went back to watch
Yeah.
him say general just one more time. Because, like, it was, his accent was so French, but it was funny French. It was, what I enjoyed about the acting was, like, it was very eccentric and acting in a way. Like, everything was over the top and over exaggerated, and you kind of felt like you were watching how acting is done on, like, a stage play.
They really had a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, they
can
did
tell.
have a lot of fun with it. Watching it, I personally, it as much as I love Pirates of the Caribbean, this I wouldn't go and watch again.
No.
Personally, and I wish they had done it slightly differently. But yeah,
I think there's a line that they cross in this film where it starts heading into horror. That's how I felt. So some of the stuff that happened, I was just like, okay, that's very twisted. Like, that's just
there is a film genre like this. Okay, this is the type of film genre. It's where they take children's stories and make them scary. So I don't know if you ever saw the movie Hansel and Gretel, which was still had Jeremy Renner in it. There's also one, Red Riding Hood.
That was quite a horror, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Red Riding Hood is also so it's that they take these children's stories, but I suppose that's what kind of the brother. So basically, Brothers Grimm would always just bring, like, a very realistic, gruesome, as cute as fairy tales
Like how it
are.
really happened.
Yeah, Brothers Grimm was kind of like, this is what actually happened.
Hansel and Gretel was no fairy tale.
I think at the end of, which one was it that I read? At the end of one of the fairy tales, it was either, I think it was Snow White. It was Cinderella. In their version of Cinderella, at the end, the stepmother basically gets attacked by birds and her eyes get gouged out by birds because of, like, in punishment as to, like, what she, what the heck, man, what the heck. Yeah, no, this is quite hectic. Yeah, but the thing though with the Brothers Grimm is the amount of stories that those two came up with. Like, I was going through, they have like 2 volumes,
Really, eh?
and then they even have like stories that didn't make it into these 2 volumes. But I was just like, oh my goodness, they have a very, 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 very wide range of stories.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
but just to end off the show with, so to compare this film with other 2005 popular films, just to like, because I was like, shame, it is an old film, you know, like let's not like hate on it. So The Pacifier, do you remember The Pacifier with Vin Diesel? That came out in 2005.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven with Orlando Bloom. I don't know if you've ever watched that, but with the Kingdom of Heaven, I do think the special effects were better in Kingdom of Heaven than in this film. Pride and Prejudice came out in the year of 2005, and then War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. That movie freaked me out.
Was that 2005?
That was 2005.
And there was some serious good CG there.
There was. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was 2005, which was also a very good film. Batman Begins, which that was Christopher Nolan's first Batman.
Was that with
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Chronicles of Narnia came out in
that was some good CG.
This film should have had better CG. I'm like now that we are comparing, it's just like And then Fantastic Four came out
better.
I feel like Fantastic Four even had better.
That was good.
CG.
That was good.
That CG was like.
That was with Chris.
Chris Evans. Yes, yeah. Chris Evans was.
And he was that dude on the bike on fire.
He was the dude that went on fire.
Flame something. Flame Man.
The Flame.
The Flame.
Isn't it The Flame?
Sounds.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
There was also a movie called Rumor Has It with Jennifer Aniston. That storyline was whack. And then Corpse Bride. That's a Tim Burton movie that came out in 2005.
So that's what Tim Burton was up to at that time?
Yeah, that's what he was up to at that time.
Yeah.
So I do feel like this film should have been better, right?
Yes.
Because at one point I was like, no, shame, it's an old movie, you know? But now I'm just like,
No, they could.
Wasn't the island... the island was also pretty good. The island was Michael Bay.
Remember.
Do you remember? Do you remember the island with Michael Bay? Where they had the version of them, they created clones of people. And then if a person got sick, then you would basically take your clone's body.
Sounds cool.
Ryan,
it rings a bell.
We did
it does
Scarlett
ring a bell.
Johansson's in it as well.
It does ring a bell.
Yeah.
But it sounds cool though.
It was a good film.
Sounds like something I need to watch.
And Munich. I feel like, why do I know Munich? I don't know if I've watched Munich.
Because it's a town in Germany.
No, the movie. The Legend of Zorro. Do you remember that one with Catherine Zeta-Jones? Yes. I remember watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, guys. 2005 was a good year of films.
Yeah.
So, they should have done better. But this film was weird. This film was very weird. Go watch Pirates of the Caribbean if you're into like something. Yeah. Yeah.
But not this one.
Not this one. Yeah, no.
This is definitely on my do not watch list.
Yeah, this one was just like, yeah.
It was too
Which
creepy.
is shocking because we never say that at the end of the movie
exactly.
show. So this is, yeah. But anyway, this has been The Brothers Grimm, another Matt Damon film on the movie show. Until next week.
Cheerio.
Peace.